Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, checked the clock, and seen that it's 3 in the morning again? For many people, this happens over and over, and it can be incredibly frustrating. You fall asleep just fine, but suddenly you're wide awake with no clear reason why. The truth is, waking up at the same time every night is rarely random. Your body is usually following certain biological patterns that most people don't even realize are happening. Before we understand why you wake up at 3 in the morning, we need to understand how sleep actually works. Most people think sleep is one long, uninterrupted block of time where your brain simply shuts down for 8 hours and then turns back on in the morning. But that's not really what happens. Sleep actually occurs in cycles that repeat several times throughout the night. Each sleep cycle usually lasts about 90 minutes. During that time, your brain moves through different stages of sleep. These stages include light sleep, deeper sleep, and REM sleep, which is the stage where most dreaming happens. Each stage plays a different role in helping your body and brain recover from the day. Early in the night, your body spends more time in deep sleep. This is the stage responsible for physical restoration. Your muscles relax, your breathing slows, and your body begins repairing tissues and regulating important hormones. Deep sleep is also when the body releases growth hormone and performs many of the physical recovery processes that keep you healthy. As the night continues, the structure of sleep changes. The deep sleep stages become shorter, and REM sleep becomes longer. REM sleep is especially important for memory, emotional processing, and overall brain recovery. At the end of each 90-minute cycle, your brain briefly becomes more alert. In most cases, people don't notice this moment at all. The brain simply checks the environment for a second and then smoothly transitions into the next sleep cycle. But if something stimulates the brain during that transition, you can wake up fully. A small disturbance, like a noise, a change in temperature, or even internal stress signals can suddenly bring you out of sleep. And here's the interesting part. Around 3 in the morning, many people reach one of those lighter phases of sleep where the brain is naturally closer to waking up. Because sleep is lighter at this point in the cycle, it becomes much easier for the brain to wake up completely instead of smoothly moving into the next stage of sleep. So, the first reason people often wake up at 3 in the morning is simply because sleep isn't one long block. It's a series of repeating cycles, and certain points in those cycles make waking up much more likely. Another important reason people wake up at 3 in the morning has to do with your body's internal clock, known as the circadian rhythm. This rhythm controls when you feel sleepy and when you feel awake over the course of a 24-hour day. Your circadian rhythm is influenced by several factors, but the most powerful one is light. When the sun sets and the environment becomes darker, your brain begins producing a hormone called melatonin. Melatonin signals to your body that it is time to prepare for sleep. Your heart rate slows down, your muscles relax, and your body temperature gradually begins to drop. This process helps your body transition into sleep naturally, but your circadian rhythm does not stay the same throughout the entire night. Instead, it moves through different phases that slightly change how deeply you sleep. During the early part of the night, sleep pressure is very strong. This pressure builds up during the day as a chemical called adenosine accumulates in the brain. The longer you stay awake, the more adenosine builds up, which makes you feel sleepy by the evening. As the night goes on, this sleep pressure begins to decrease. Meanwhile, your body slowly starts preparing for the next day. Hormones begin shifting, and your internal clock moves toward the eventual waking phase. Around the middle of the night, often between 2 and 4 in the morning, many people pass through a period where sleep becomes slightly lighter. This is a natural part of the circadian rhythm. Because sleep is lighter during this window, it becomes easier for the brain to wake up completely. If something stimulates the brain during this time, such as a sound, a shift in temperature, or even a thought, you may suddenly become fully awake. So waking up around 3 in the morning is not necessarily unusual. In many cases, it simply reflects how your circadian rhythm naturally moves through different phases of sleep during the night. Another major reason people wake up at 3 in the morning is stress. Even if you don't feel stressed when you go to bed, your body may still be carrying tension from the day. When your brain perceives stress, it activates a system in the body designed to keep you alert and ready to respond. This system releases hormones that increase awareness and prepare you for action. One of the most important of these hormones is cortisol. Cortisol is often called the stress hormone, but it also plays a key role in regulating your daily energy levels. Normally, cortisol levels are lowest during the early stages of sleep and begin rising gradually as morning approaches. This rise helps your body wake up and become alert for the day. However, when a person experiences ongoing stress, this pattern can be disrupted. Instead of staying low throughout the night, cortisol levels may spike unexpectedly. When this happens, the brain shifts into a more alert state, even though it is still the middle of the night. This sudden increase in alertness can cause you to wake up fully. Once you're awake, your brain may immediately begin thinking about problems, responsibilities, or things you need to do the next day. Many people notice that when they wake up during the night, their thoughts start racing almost instantly. They may replay conversations, worry about work, or start planning tasks for the morning. This happens because the brain has moved into a more active state instead of remaining in rest mode. The nervous system becomes more alert, making it harder to relax and fall back asleep. Over time, if stress continues, this pattern can become more common. The brain begins associating the middle of the night with alertness rather than rest.
Reducing stress before bedtime and calming the nervous system can help prevent these nighttime awakenings and allow the brain to stay in deeper stages of sleep throughout the night. Another factor that often causes people to wake up during the night is their evening habits. Many of the things we do before bed can quietly affect how stable our sleep is throughout the night. One of the biggest influences is caffeine. Caffeine works by blocking a chemical in the brain called adenosine. Adenosine is responsible for building up sleep pressure during the day and making you feel tired at night. When caffeine blocks this signal, your brain feels more awake than it should. The tricky part is that caffeine can stay in your body for a long time. For some people, it can remain active for 6 to 8 hours and sometimes even longer. This means that drinking coffee or energy drinks in the late afternoon or evening can still affect your sleep in the middle of the night. Another common issue is screen exposure before bedtime. Phones, tablets, and computers emit blue light, which signals to your brain that it is still daytime. When your brain detects this light, it reduces the production of melatonin, the hormone that helps you fall asleep. If melatonin levels are lower than they should be, your sleep may become lighter and easier to interrupt. That makes it more likely that you'll wake up during one of the lighter phases of your sleep cycle. Eating heavy meals late at night can also disturb sleep. Digestion requires energy, and when your body is actively digesting food during the night, it can make it harder for your system to fully relax. Finally, irregular sleep schedules can confuse your internal clock. If you go to bed at different times each night, your circadian rhythm has difficulty predicting when sleep should occur. Over time, these habits can make your sleep cycles less stable, increasing the chances that you wake up during the night instead of staying asleep until morning. The good news is that if you often wake up around 3 in the morning, there are several simple changes that can help your body return to more stable sleep. One of the most important steps is maintaining a consistent sleep schedule. Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day helps train your circadian rhythm. When your internal clock becomes more predictable, your sleep cycles tend to become deeper and more stable. Another helpful habit is reducing light exposure before bedtime. Bright lights and screens can signal to your brain that it is still daytime. Dimming the lights and avoiding phones or computers during the hour before sleep can allow melatonin levels to rise naturally, which helps your body stay asleep longer. Creating a calming nighttime routine can also make a big difference. Activities like reading, gentle stretching, or listening to relaxing music can help slow down the nervous system and prepare your body for sleep. Your sleeping environment also plays a role. A cool, dark, and quiet room supports deeper sleep.
Even small disruptions like temperature changes or noise can pull the brain out of sleep during lighter cycles. Finally, if you do wake up in the middle of the night, try not to panic or check the clock repeatedly. Watching the clock can increase stress and make it harder to fall back asleep. Instead, focus on slow breathing and relaxing your body. In many cases, the brain will naturally return to sleep once it settles back into a calm state.